magnificent morning, awesome afternoon, and wonderful evening wherever you are in the world. This is Carla from MindPlore with Carla and Friends. And today we are talking about realities and the need for reality. We create our own realities. And because we create our own realities, that is what we see in the world. If we want to see a positive reality, we need to think positively. If we want to see a negative reality, it's there. Unfortunately, we don't realize how powerful our minds are. And until we begin to realize that our thoughts create our minds and move us forward, we're always going to have some difficulty creating our world. And everyone can do whatever they want to do. We just need to stop thinking. We need to take that word not out of our vocabulary. Having said that, I have a magnificent panel today. I have Shivali S from India, New Delhi area. I have Huong from Vietnam, who you also know from the English show, and Mirza Ali from New York City, but originally from Pakistan. In fact, I heard him say something about Lahore, and that could be his regular place of
My
life.
wife's place.
Oh, your wife's from Lahore. He may be from somewhere else. Having said that, let's get the show on the road. And Mirza, can you please introduce yourself? And
I
then
am
talk about the topic.
I am Mirza Ali. I'm based in New York City. I'm a serial entrepreneur in technology space and e-commerce. And reality is basically inanimate. It is subjective. It's subject to change based on the perceiver. Our inner reality actually manifests into our external reality. Reality is inanimate. We humans are animate. It's moldable. We can mold our reality. That's the problem, that people don't understand that. Your thoughts become things. Your feelings will determine your dealings. Your emotions will determine your life's motion. It's energy in motion. Thoughts are female, emotions are male. You combine them both together, a creation happens. That is what you believe. And your belief will create your reality. Your reality will create your personality. Your personality will create your identity, and your identity will define who you are. So at the end of the day, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Reality is moldable, it's subject to change based on the perceiver. And your inner reality, inner world, inner intention will manifest into external world. Whatever mind can visualize, it can materialize. Whatever mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That unseen, invisible control into seen and visible. That metaphysical, esoteric converts stuff into exoteric. So it's inside out, not outside in. As the discussion goes between the phases of reality, we will discuss. We have amazing panel. So those were my few kickstart um, sense with this discussion. Thanks for having me, Carla.
Thank you. So, do you feel that your reality is based on your thought pattern, or is it based on what you see outside in the world?
My reality is based upon my thought patterns, the thoughts that I choose, right? And choice and decisions are the most powerful thing because I am the observer, I'm the permitter, I am the overseer. I'm watching the situation as a third person, as a bird's eye view, and I'm able to mold the reality towards my desired outcome. Because problem is not the problem. My response to the problem is always the problem. When I change the way I look at the things that I look at, they change. It's all about perception of situation, perception of reality, how I see reality. And reality are the results and it's the fruit. And if there's a problem with the fruit, you go back to the root. And root is the same thing. that you are constantly stepping into your power. You're rewiring, reframing, reconditioning, repercepting, reparadigm shifting your patterns of existence. And once you live at the level of awareness and transcendence, you can pretty much convert any situation into your desired outcome. So obviously, the fundamental foundation of everything is what you said so beautifully, Carla, is your thoughts. Thoughts become things. It's vibration. It's an energy.
So are we more a vibration, or are we more the physical body that we live in?
We are the hardware, that's our brain. And then there's a software, which is our mind. And our thoughts are frequency. It's the vibration. And it goes back to quantum physics of a Heisenberg principle of uncertainty. They're collapsing wave particles in the universe. Wherever you put the observer upon, it becomes real. So you and I, Carla, and Shivali, and all those people, amazing people who are part of this panel, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts in our brain, right? It's by default or it's by design. It's by guided thoughts and conditional response. So once you become the observer, you become the overseer, you become the permitter, you are able to pick the right thoughts. And it's all about mental conditioning, mental reprogramming, repercepting yourself always, right? So that level of control, but because when you meditate, what are you doing exactly? You're picking the right thoughts. It's in your control, and it's your choice. It's by default. It by default is the default way. That's how brain function. But design is when you're the master who's controlling the puppet inside you. You don't let the puppet inside you control the master. It's the other way around. So I hope I make sense over here, because you're not a temperature anymore. You're the thermostat. You're the one who set your own temperature. And then that you choosing the right thoughts, because our thoughts goes viral, they go spiral, they compound, they multiply. What you think is what you think about, and what you think about is what you think. So you can change. We as a species, we can change what we think about, and that would give us our desired results, desired outcome. And I hope it helps.
It helps. I just need you to speak a little slower so the words are clearer, but it does help. Okay, Huang, what do you want to say on this topic?
That's a very wonderful topic and sharing as well. Thank you so much for having me here. This is Huong from Vietnam. I'm a lecturer in a government university. I have been teaching economics and international business. Yeah, that's in a university in the northern part of Vietnam. Coming to the topic, everything has two sizes. So I can say that we are here, we can both see like something negativity, yes, we can see, right? And also some positivity, and how can we balance everything, and we can moderate our life and make our future better and better. So we have to something we have to accept, but something we can create, and we can think out of the box and use our natural resources more efficiently and productively. So that's the thing we have to consider. Yeah, and all the way, like keep adapted with our new situation and get, I mean, resilient and everything here. Yeah, overcome all obstacles and difficulties in our life. Yeah, because life is not always a better process, I can say. And I always remind myself, whatever I am, yeah, whatever I have done and who am I will accept it, and I keep moving and improving myself. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, so how have you found that your mind has helped you? Or how have you shifted your mind to make it more positive?
Right. Thank you, Carla. We can see that a lot of factors can impact on our life. So that's why some hurdles, some barrier, I mean, from our mind, I mean, like inner fears, everyone can have it, right? because we are the part of the nature. I can say that we are human beings, so we are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. I can confirm that, right? And whenever we think, we should think in the positive way. I mean, like where there is a will, there is a way. So whenever facing problems or difficulties, you should think out the box and find out good solution and methods to solve that problem. Yes, so everything can change and can solve it. So with our mindset, I can say inside our our mind or our thoughts will control our activities, and also all of the things we can combine together. But be confident and positive, yeah, and be brave. Yep.
Why
Don't
do
need,
you why do you say be brave?
because sometimes our inner fear when I mean over control our body, our hands. Even somebody they says, "Oh, I don't want to be nervous. I don't want to be scared." But yeah, how to overcome that? Like speaking in a public. Yeah. So sometimes like our inner fear, like our thoughts that, oh, somebody will judge us, somebody will criticize, or will think that, oh, that's this lady or that lady talk like a she's talking, she's uh, she's like demonstrating something's not good. So that's so thoughts, the mindset. So that's why the inner fear, so scare. So I think that we have to brave to overcome all the things. Yeah, whatever we have done, we should accept and just keep positive mindset to move ahead. Yep.
Great. What do you think, Shivali?
Thank you, Carla. Yes, I've been listening to both Mirza and Rehan. The way I look at it, and I think Mirza has already kind of, said it very beautifully. So just getting on from there. And that, for me, like our reality is created by our consciousness. Our consciousness is creating the reality. So now it depends in a particular situation, what is my consciousness? My consciousness itself is changing constantly under various situations and circumstances. So if we understand how the mind works, because this mind is creating everything, like I still remember this example of a housefly and the honeybee. Our mind can either be the honeybee or the housefly. The housefly is always looking for garbage or the not so good things, whereas the honeybee always finds fragrance. So mind is something, as Mirza also pointed out, you rewire your brain, all these concepts that we keep on hearing. And through meditation, especially, you can come in touch with the various levels of your own consciousness. So these are not just phases or stages, this reality. And what we are perceiving at a particular moment is barely 1%, not even 1% of actually what is there. So it all depends on a consciousness. And the only way I feel we can actually change the reality from maybe a negative to a positive one is change your own mind, change your own consciousness. And for that, there are various ways and people adopt various means of doing it. This is what I feel.
Beautiful.
Very nice. So, who would like to speak more? Because it is our mind that creates our world. If we want to focus on what's happening negatively in the world, that becomes our world. If we want to focus on the positive, our world becomes more positive. Many people talk about abundance, have an abundance mindset. But in order to have that, we need to realize that we are worthy. and we are able to move forward. And many people think, oh no, I'm not worthy of that. I want to have that. How can we help people begin to realize the world is actually created in our minds? Mirza, you look like you want to say something.
You know, Einstein says it's very beautifully, and it's something worth pondering upon. He says it's so spot on. A mind cannot solve the problem at the same level of consciousness, at the same level of thinking that has created the problem. You have to come out of that. You have to step out of that. And you have to step into the area of what Shivali was saying, consciousness. Once you are in the consciousness, you are able to dissect your thoughts. And then you are able to see as an observer, as an overseer, as a permitter, what thoughts are going to give you your desired outcome, because your thoughts can either hijack you, because it's all about the conversation. Thoughts are the vibration, frequency, and they are the ones who create the sentences in our brain. And those sentences will create our paragraph, and paragraph will create our narrative and story. And if you change your story, you change your life. You heal your mind, you heal your life. Now, when you're doing a meditation and memoir, you're letting yourself to see the situation from bird's eye view and see what thoughts and patterns of existence are giving me the life that I want. And then you are the one who's in control, and you are able to reframe the situation. And patterns of existence are giving me. Oh, I think I was getting the echo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to add a few cents, what happens is the thoughts that you choose, thoughts are females and emotions are male. You tie them together. A thing that can happen happen. It's called your belief, and we all have those beliefs, and some beliefs are limiting beliefs that are holding us hostage in a jail cell, in a prison cell, in a cage cell of our mind. Once we have new thoughts, new patterns, you take action, and then you have a new belief, and those beliefs will create your new reality. Then the reticular activating system in our brain would look at the new reality, and it will respond to our conviction and confirmation to be new you. That's how you reprogram yourself. So there's a little cycle. Your thoughts, your feelings toward any emotion will create your belief. And belief, once you have a new belief, it's a weak belief. I'm a rich person. I used to be very poor. And it's a new belief that am I rich? Am I rich? And then you take new actions, and then you have a new reality. Okay, you have, and then you listen to the feedback, and your mind will respond to your conviction and confirmation to be new you. Now you have a new belief. That's how you reprogram yourself for the success. So belief, action, reality, feedback. Belief, action, reality, feedback. That can go towards the positive side or negative side, because thoughts are the sentences of our brain. The same conversation that we have in our mind, it can make us or it can break us. It will be empowering or it can be disempowering. Can make you strongly mental or mentally strong. Can give you endless hope or hopeless, and can take you to the pit of your life or to a peak of your life. And it's the choice that you make living at the conscious level. And that's how you reframe yourself. You have a new belief, you take new action, and you create a new reality. And then reticular activating system will listen to the new reality, and it will respond to your feedback and conviction and confirmation to be new you. Now you have a new belief.
Could you say that again?
Sorry, Bob.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
So that's how you reprogram your brain for the success. Either it goes like on the negative side or positive side. It's all the choice that we make consciously. But the long story short, it goes back to what Shivali was saying. Once you start living at the level of consciousness, because the level of consciousness that creates the problem, you need a different level of consciousness to solve the problem. It can like the thought process that get you out of Egypt. Now you need a different thought process to be in the promised land. So at every level, there's a different devil. There's no devil outside. It's you. We are competing against ourselves to be better today than we were yesterday. And that's how you keep programming and keep stepping into your power. And life and growth equals happiness. Life is all about journey. It's not a destination. It's like cocoon to butterfly. So yeah, so that's the formula of reprogramming yourself. Your new belief, you take action, you create new reality, and then you listen to the feedback, then you override new belief. And the old belief becomes disbelief. So then that's the equation people forget.
Well, the thing is, all of what you're saying, which is very important and very true, is very abstract. How can we bring this? What are there any techniques to help someone get from the very broad, which may not be very clearly understood, to the very focused point?
Simple.
Okay.
You download your thoughts on the piece of paper. You look at the inventory. Wherever you are in life, whatever results that you have, you are the product of your old patterns of thinking, patterns of existence, and the belief that you had. So if you are able to control your past, you'll be able to control your present. And if you're able to control your present and now, you are able to build and predict the future. Because yesterday was history. On your session, we were talking about, like, look at your past as a research and development. Scientist does so much research and development. The failures are good, failure is what? First attempt in learning. And fear, I think she was talking about, fear is face everything and rise above the problem. Once you become bigger than the problem and you download your thoughts and you dissect and see that which thought patterns gave you this outcome. So basically you reject those and you override with new thoughts, new patterns towards the positivity. And then you look at the results and the desired life, the future impossible version of you, because there are two versions of you. Right now, it's my current version and my ideal version, my real self, and my second version, my future impossible version. And what are the results that I want from today that will give me the life? And you are logically aligned, then you have to be emotionally aligned, then you have to be physically aligned. You have to put the work in. Law of attraction is not going to work. It's only going to work with the law of the action, and that will take you the results. But that only happens either you're living in the denial or fantasies, or either you're living in the facts of your life. Once you get the facts of your life, you fact map and towards the future impossible version of you. And one technique I'm going to give you to your audience: imagine year from now, today, what's the day today? Today is like April 5th. Imagine in 2022, imagine you go in April 5th, 2023. Close your eyes and ask yourself whatever you want from your life, in mind, in body, in spirit, in health, in wealth, in relationship, in body, being, balance, business, bonding, bank accounts, inner peace, happiness. What if everything has happened a year from now? Okay. And then you go in the future and then you work backwards. It's called counterfactual reality, counterfactual simulation. And your mind is such a powerful reservoir, it will give you the answers. Oh, okay. So you were owning your morning routine, you were owning your day. You were ruthlessly committed to your daily rituals and protocols and regimen and structure for your physical fitness, your mental peace and wealth and harmony, your business growth and everything, faith, fitness, family, fun, finance. You were putting the action. So your mind will give you the results, and you thought download, and then you repattern yourself. And the main thing is putting the work. Do the work, it works.
Okay. What you're nodding, Shivali, what are you thinking?
What he mentioned just now, I call it time travel. Okay. If I knew a means, like, of course, I'm trained in it also through our meditation or whatever we are doing. Someone could be just working with the breaths. Simple thing, being in the moment, taking charge of yourself, and just being the observer, which was pointed out to us a little earlier. So what I feel that if we could do that, say, even if we spend 5 minutes, you see, time again is in our mind. This concept of time again is in our mind. So what Mirza has pointed out is that if I could consciously do time travel, you know, and and it's not just moving forward, you can do it backwards also. You can go back into your past also, not just of this lifetime or millions of lifetimes, but there's a process. And for this, it's most important is that I have to first decide that I want this. Once I have decided, the means will automatically come to me, because the universe will hear my response, will respond to my that feelings or vibrations. You call it vibrations, you call it energy. We are all interconnected, we know that. So if our minds are like those mini computers, there's a master computer also. So through these brain waves, lowering of your brain frequencies, as it is pointed out in so many systems, you are doing nothing but you are creating the new reality for yourself. And that reality exists. But for that, you have to be like a child to believe that, yes, I can do it. Someone who's in a very negative state of mind, he needs help. We cannot say, oh, you are just in a negative state of mind. That person needs guidance. That is why you have so many people who are working on this also. So if we could somehow, connect with that new reality, then automatically we'll invite those things, more of those things into our life. So if I want to be abundant, that abundance consciousness has to be there. That's why I remember my mother, just one small example. She used to sometimes tell me, dress up nicely. Supposing I was feeling very lazy. So I said, why you say this? I'm at home. She says, no, when you'll wear proper clothes and you'll be smartly dressed, you'll be smartly dressed, your consciousness becomes of a smart person, and your body language, your behavior, everything changes. That was the concept behind also making the child take a bath and sit at the table and to be in the fresh state of mind, because everything is being created, through little things we are creating the new reality. So what he was reminding me was, of this time travel thing, which I love to do, and I've done it. I see challenges are there in each one of our lives. And today the Shivali that I see is the reprogrammed Shivali. The Shivali, if you had met, say, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, she hardly spoke. So today, that confidence you see in me is because I created that new reality consciously. And for that, I had to undergo a journey also. So there's nothing negative or positive, actually. It's how you look at things and how you start perceiving things. And that creates the new reality for you. This is what was coming to my mind as he was speaking.
Wonderful. And what do you think, Huong?
Yes, I enjoy a lot just sharing, both of you, all of you. Yeah, it's a very powerful when we can be aware of the reality. So, like we can follow the law of nature, right? And also we can stay happy, yeah, stay comfortable and keep moving with everything changing. So with different roles, I mean, different positions in our life, in our society. For example, uh, when I'm a teacher, when I'm a mother, or I'm a guider, or I'm a learner, right? I'm a mom. So when I realize that with different situation, I have to handle with different duties and different tasks. So that's a thing we can recognize our realities. Yeah, so we clear our goal, we can achieve and we can be successful in life. But all the things that are available in our life, right? So I always share with my students that all the things around you, both though they have both sides, like negative and positive sides, but you should take advantage from the positive thoughts. And the thing, nobody is perfect, right? So that's why you have inner strength inside you, the potential, the future ahead. So you should figure out what strengths you are, and you have some weaknesses in reality, and how to handle it, how to reduce and minimize, yeah, the weakness, and how to boost your strengths, your power, right, to make your future better. Yep, that's the thing I can recognize that.
You're using the word reality, which is a big part of this conversation. And I ask all of you, is our reality the physical world, or is our reality really our thought pattern and what goes on in our mind? Huang?
I can say that with Mirza, I have heard he's sharing about what's your views, what's your perspective about life. Even everything available, visible around you, but different people with different point of views and different perspective, they can see, they can observe that some object with different way and different different aspects, yeah, dimensions. So that's why, yeah, everything around you, but different mindset, different knowledge, and the way you think about this, yeah, you recognize what the reality is, the truth for you.
Okay, I agree. It's the truth for me, but it's the truth, the cat, or it's the truth what's going on in my mind about the cat. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, the
Explain
way you
your answer.
yeah.
Why do you say yes?
I say yes, that means you are seeing, you are watching him, right? So in a different way, so you can describe him like today. He's so happy, right? He's happy, talk to me. So something is very positive with me. But so in the other day, when you can see him in a different emotion and different feelings, so oh, something happened to him, how can I make him happy, and how the way I'm treating and behaving with him. So you have shared that from the feelings or from the mindset, and you are collaborating and talking and communicating with him that realities.
Okay, what do you think about? Well, Mirza's nodding his head. What would you like to add to that?
She's spot on. Our foreground that you see is a function of your background. In my opening statement, I told you what happens outside is outside of your control. However, what happens inside is within your control. That is the inner world, that is the inner mastery, that is an inner reality. When you go on the self-inquiry, self-discovery, self-journey, self-actualization, self-realization, self-determination, then you realize there's an entire world inside me. And that world, that self-image, that inner world, inner intention is a projection of external world. So that's this foreground that you see is a function of background, and that background is also function of foreground. So once you, how Shivali was saying and I was saying at the opening statement, once you are the observer, once you are the overseer, once you are the permitter, awareness is the first step to change, right? The reality that you see, or the life that I created for myself in my physical fitness, my finance, my family, my relationship, my legacy, or my spirituality, are the results. And Bible says something so beautifully that you shall know them by their fruits, and results are the fruits. So if there's a problem with the fruit, you go back to that root, which is your inner world, inner reality, inner intention. That's where your happiness and satisfaction and fulfillment exist, right? because happiness and reality creation is a state of mind. It's inside out, mostly, not outside in. 90% of life happens to you. 10% of life that happens to you, 90% is how you respond to it. And that is the awareness happening continuously. Like Shivali was saying, each and everything that you're doing round the clock, 24 hours, situation, event, people, past, have no meaning, have no color, have no label, have no flavor. They will be meant or labeled or colored or flavored by the meaning that we will give to that event. And the same event can be empowering or it can be disempowering, can take us to the day or night, towards the positivity or negativity. It's all a choice. And choice and decisions are the most powerful thing that we must exercise consciously, because once you train this mind to work consciously, you're able to deliver a mind that delivers you the results in life consistently. So the main keys to kingdom, beauty lies reality is like subject to change. And then talking about backward and forward in the going forward in the future, because time is traveling. Reverse, no, don't go reverse. So there are parallel reality, parallel universes in this galaxy. The future billionaire version of me also exists in this parallel universe, in the parallel reality. All I need to do is align myself logically, emotionally, physically, and then spiritually. Once you're aligned spiritually with the vision and mission and purpose and principles that are larger than you, then you become somebody like Elon Musk. Because the size of your success has to do with the size of your imagination, how big you think, how size of your commitment, how committed you are to work on one project called Project U. And that's talks about reality creation. So what you see in your cat, what you see in your like computer and interaction, like that foreground that you see is a function of background. So either you're a warrior or you're a warrior. Either you're a victim or you're a victor of your life. Either you're a thermostat or you're a thermometer. Either you hang around with the people who create a conducive, nurturing environment that fosters the growth, because people are battery chargers or battery drainers. It's all a choice. And Gandhi ji says something so beautifully: be the change that you wish to see in the world. Create the reality that you want to see in the world. And that only happens when you take extreme ownership, focused accountability, and radical responsibility with your life, with the commitment to get to the results, get to the reality, get to that fruit. And if there's a problem with the fruit, go back to the root. Root is the same thing. Consciously train your mind, rewire, reframe, recondition, reperceive, reparadigm shift your patterns of existence for the success. And that is the difference between somebody who's a multi-millionaire or billionaire, or somebody who's still stuck in the prison cell, in the cage cell, is stuck in the. So you have to free yourself from yourself. You must escape the prison of your past experience. Because once who's able to control his past, he's able to control his present. And if you're able to control your present, you're able to predict the future. Yesterday was history, tomorrow is a mystery. Be in a moment, on the moment, seize the moment, own your now. Create your reality in now.
But what I'm still asking, what is the reality? Is the reality in the physical, or is the reality in the mind, what we create?
From metaphysical to physical.
Shivali, thank you for your thought on it. Shivali.
Well, I go back to consciousness. That's where it all begins.
So what is consciousness?
Consciousness can be at various levels, and simultaneously I could be at various levels. So there are various ways. Yes, of course. Like for example, I'm feeling hungry. I want to eat. I'm in that food consciousness that I must eat, otherwise I cannot survive in this world. Now that flight, fight condition, survival, that I need food to survive in this world. That is one kind of consciousness. And most of us could be living with that consciousness. We are very happy, living. Eat, drink, be merry. Yes, no one's stopping us. But are we happy with that? That's the question. Some could be happy because they are not aware, or maybe they are not yet aware. The day they become aware, they become the observer of their own life, and they realize, no, I want to do something better. So you'll find a lot of people, like, for example, they talk about economic development, that there should be food for everyone, there should be equality in society. That is also coming from this consciousness. Food is just a means, a symbol that I'm using here. Next consciousness level could be where, I am surviving, I'm able to survive. So I need to protect myself. That's what all these wars are all about. These wars are nothing but about self-protection. It's a consciousness that is making us work like that. That if I do this, I feel safe. My people feel safe. So that is another kind of consciousness. I could be doing this simultaneously. At one go, I could be having these multiple consciousness. That is why, as Mirza ji just now pointed out, that at these vibrations that we are talking about, the multiple things that he's talking about, the parallel universes that we are talking about. Before we see those parallel universes outside, those parallel universes are being created, or rather they exist within us. And that is why consciousness is important. And then, as we go, and very rightly, Mirza has also pointed out the spiritual part that he's bringing in. And what Carla just now said, that is this just a physical reality? Yes, physically you're seeing something, which I can connect with that, whatever you see in this world was first imagined. It was first thought of. That is why it is existing today, right? So coming back to the point, various levels of consciousness are creating the reality for us. So I could be simultaneously coexisting in those realities, and then I go a bit higher. Again, as I said earlier, it's a process. People who are into meditations, people who are into breath work, people who are, who do journaling, like as Mirza said, write out your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Those thoughts are the ones which make you aware of your present consciousness. And when you tweet those thoughts and replace them, the new reality is created for you. That's why after these kind of exercises, you feel so euphoric. Why do you feel it? Because that mind inside has created the new reality. Their consciousness has changed. So this is one small thing which I wanted to share.
One cent I would like to add. One cent.
Okay, very quickly.
What you think is what you become. How you think controls everything, because 9 out of 10 of everything is in your head, and you believe in your attitude, and your attitude will determine your life's altitude. So that's all there is to it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that was said. I did something that I normally don't do, and I brought someone in towards the end of the show because I really wanted her here in the beginning, and she had an emergency. So I would like her, like Ada Bodman, still confused, Ada or Ada, you can tell me in a moment, to introduce herself and tell us what is reality? Does reality come from our inner being, or from our outer being? Ada, the mic is yours.
Hi, Carla. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for being late. I did have an emergency phone call as working, so you probably understand how that goes sometimes. Everything is fine. But thank you, Carla, for bringing me in the loop in your circle and part of your mission. I'm honored. I'm Ada Bowman, and I'm a founder of a digital marketing agency and production here in Florida, and among other avenues such as angel investing, super networking, and all other few talents that I worked along the way to accomplish. It's my pleasure to be here and meet you, everyone.
Okay.
I feel like I should be the student here, and of course, I consider myself the student of life. But I feel like I'm so young among all of you, so I should probably learn from all of you, if anything. I don't know if I can say anything that at this point I can teach you. So it's a privilege to be seen in such a advanced old soul. But a short story, I connected with Carla through a mutual connections that we recently met in Dubai. And social media is, as you probably know by now, powerful enough where we can help each other create and bond relationship, destroy each other, or even worse, or for the better. It depends on how your mind state and where your mindset is. What I can tell you about, to answer straight to your question, Carla, is the reality. Personally, I've done a lot of therapy myself for the sake of my own mind, to understand myself, to understand my complex mind and my creative, and where the thoughts and the visions are coming from. I'm an innovative, fast thinker, fast forward thinker, and usually I'm 5 years ahead. And I call myself, I bite more than I can chew sometimes, and I don't realize the grandiose ideas and the vision that comes from above me. And then I question myself why I'm getting these ideas, bold, courage, and can be normal in a sense of thinking, do what most normal people would say they do in my mind at the time. That was a long time ago, until the point I realized that when you meditate and you extract your mind out of the universe, actually the world, it's so small and the reality is what you perceive to be. And it's the way I vision it, and I envision myself above the universe in a sense, in the universe, within the space, is when I meditate, I try to take myself out of my physical body and my mind and just connect with the mind alone. And there were sessions when I sometimes connected with myself so deeply that tears will flow out of my face without even me realizing. And it was depend on a meditation style. Some of them was inner child, some of them were trauma, some of them were self-esteem. So each one has its own message in a way. But above all, what I see the reality of being is, in my perspective, I come from a world where if somebody would have told me what I am today and what I achieved, I would have said that they're crazy. And I would have said that they're the biggest liars of all, because I would have never believed them. Now, going back into my history of my life and rewriting my bio so many times, because every time you write a bio, you realize the accomplishments of what you've done. And it's hard because people cannot comprehend at a simplistic way that we are capable for so much more. And we're limited to a limited belief because we're limited belief in our own world. So I'm also a very heavy reader. I've read, and I'm a fast reader, and I'm like a sponge. I need the knowledge in order to re-energize my brain. I need the learning in order to feel that I feel productive. So the mindset that I reversed from a trauma survivor, it's impeccable, remarkable process that I've been through. And if anything, I can tell you the reality, it is real. Of course, it's real. We are all humans. That's a fact. That's a real thing. Life is real. Life in humans and plants and bugs and in air alone, it's real. Now, what's real and in how we live it and how we want to live it, that's a different perception. Because we have so much more options in how we choose to see it, but it depends on how you dictate to your programming mind, in your machine, in your brain. And each one is different. That's what's the beauty about unique sharing everyone's reality, because you learn how Shivali reality is versus mine, and Mirza and Carla and all of you here. The reality is what you perceive. I cannot live your reality, right? And you cannot live mine because it's made by ourselves.
Okay.
I hope that was from all intro. I cut off. I hope I cut off in the process.
You did beautifully. And you came in the middle, which made it very difficult because you knew nothing about the show. And I didn't expect you, so I just let you in. You did wonderfully.
Thank you, Carla.
When you say, and I don't know why this is coming to my mind so quickly, we're all students and we all learn from each other. Whether someone's 100 years old, 10 years old, 20, 30, whatever, there is no such thing to say, I am not good enough for this. And knowing the bit that I know about you, it appears to me that you are feeling very humbled and very not sure if you should be here. Everything happens for a reason, and you're supposed to be here. So tell me, when you're talking about mindset, is it better to keep our mindset positive? Or when the negative comes up, should we go with the negative or tend to bring ourselves back to the positive? Ada, go first, please.
Thank you, Carla. I appreciate. I really appreciate. First of all, yes, to address to you, it's about staying humble and humble in all state of mind, because with humility, you are opening the receptive brain of receiving and learning. And so that being said, it's not that I'm not good enough. It's I want to be humble and consider myself a student from not just life, but from this session, anything that I do daily. So that is a state of mind that it's keeping me humble and receiving gratitude and receiving what's coming in my way, either is positive or negative. To answer your question, how I look at positive, negative is like everything else in the world, love and hate, sweet and sour, spicy and I don't know the other version of that.
Bland.
Bland. Everything is actually, to my perspective, the way I see it is unique, is actually both. You need positive and negative. You cannot love without hate, and you cannot hate without love. But what you respond to it and the way, like, to be more concise is, no, you should not just put it under the rug that is a negative situation. You should acknowledge it. You should allow yourself feeling it and mention yourself, wow, I'm really frustrated about this because of that. And then reflect on it, get through that feeling, because it's an actual live, real feeling. Negativity is not necessarily a just energy. It's a feeling, to feeling negative, to feel frustrated, to feel it in the negative side of the things, which is not joy, happiness, or excitement. So the best answer I have from my perspective is definitely both. I'm biased about both, because when you have able to walk on the middle of balance of both and not be just an extreme in one way, that means you don't dissociate from being in I'm fine, everything is fine. No, it's not fine. It's okay to not be fine, as long as you acknowledge and you constructively move through the process of how is this impacting me if I stay in the state of mind that I believe I can, or if I'm not getting better. It's not going to happen and change if you're not changing your mindset. But ignoring it and just shift right away, I just don't think is healthy process. So the process of acknowledging, of recognizing, of identifying it, feeling it, even if it's negative, but then transport yourself from that to a positive mindset and see the good perspective in bad. That is where I found a lot of my successes, and it turned out to be better for me at the end of the day, how I feel. I hope that answered.
Yeah, that's your answer, and that's okay. Perfectly fine. Thank you. I want to go around because we are coming to the end of this. and have everyone say maybe last statements, 2 or 3 words, or what I mean is a minute at most. And we're going to end the show. And I'm going to start with Huong. Huong, what are your final statements today?
Yes, so yep, I agree with all of you here today. So beautiful sharing. So reality, we can see both tangible and intangible. Yeah, in the both side, pros and cons, right? Yes, I agree with that. And also, we can see our physical universe, and as well as we how to use this our nature resources and everything properly. And also that depends on our mindset, right? And also you can make up our mind how to use them in a proper way. For example, when we use our natural energies, so in a good way, we can make our environment more friendly. But otherwise, we can destroy them. Yes, so I agree with that. We in both sides. Yep. Thank you.
Shivali, thank you, Huang. Shivali.
Yes, what was said a little while ago when Ada pointed out to the fact that acknowledgement, not negation, acknowledgement, about the negative part that we were mentioning. Just acknowledge it. The moment you acknowledge it, you become conscious about it. And you are filled with compassion for yourself also. See, we're always speaking of compassion towards others. That is one kind of consciousness, but compassion towards yourselves, that acceptance, and then you move on. You see, this is also a part of, a deliberate attempt, to, kind of work on your consciousness. And that new consciousness or that awareness of the new consciousness will create a better reality for you. And then you forge ahead. You're able to forge ahead. And not just individually, you're able to reach out to others also. And any experience that we have in our lives, there's nothing good or bad. It's a process. It's a learning process. And that's why, then when, like we kind of, jump or move forward. And then when we look back, as she was saying, when you're writing out your own bio and you're writing out, you also realize the long journey that you have taken. And then you understand that what is the purpose of your life. There's a higher purpose to our lives. That spiritual dimension, which Mirza just touched upon, maybe we can take it on the next time. That's where my interest lies. That from here, then we move into that consciousness, from the material to the spiritual. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Ada.
Yes,
Ladies before men, I'm sorry, Mirza.
no, I wanted to hear from if or you want him to.
I want him to end it.
Yeah. Okay.
You will hear from him. Don't worry.
I mean, the stage is all yours. Thank you again for meeting me. I hope I see all of you again. And is there anything we can connect? And if there's anything I can serve you or help you with, please reach out. Ultimately, the statement is just surround yourself with the people that think like you and they understand you and make you feel safe. And like my latest post that I tagged Carla, it was just such a random, but at the same time, it was so realistic in how we are affected by trauma. And I believe that we all have some hidden trauma somehow. We admit it or not, we're not perfect. We're born to not be perfect. And we're creation our own self. So create your reality in the freedom of choice. It's yours. And some people just don't know what to do with it. And that's why some leaders and some people bring consciousness, a message of the consciousness to help others to become consciousness of their reality that can be better. Because ultimately our purpose as humanity is to help each other. And there's one message. If we cannot help each other and we're not willing to put the intentional effort, even if it's for one life a day, you have so much power. We all have so much power. We don't even know what to do with it, let alone, especially when it comes to conscious level, that's superpower at that point.
Very good. Thank you. Mirza.
You know,
You're
it's
chomping at the bit.
everyone spoke so beautifully and eloquently, including Shafali um, and all you amazing, amazing ladies. You know, so much love and respect to you, and wish you get everything that you want. See, our mind is a garden, and you have to constantly, repeatedly take the weed out. This entire world is a canvas, and our mind is a paintbrush. What kind of life are we painting for ourselves through our thoughts, right? You are the Michelangelo of your life, and you see an angel in the marble and chisel it out and carve it out. That's how you have to constantly work on your personality, because what you tell yourself is what you sell yourself. And the more you and I consciously we know ourselves, is the more we grow ourselves, right? We have to go back to childhood traumas and dramas and self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs and suppressed identity, societal limiting beliefs that are holding us hostage in a jail cell, in a prison cell, in a cage cell of our mind. We need to break those bars and shackles and overcome and become like cocoon to butterfly, like in death and rebirth, metaphorically speaking. And we need to turn those traumas into triumphs, turn that mess into a message, garbage into gold, trash into cash, pain into purpose, your impossibilities into possibilities, your invisibilities into visibilities. That's what life is all about. That's what reality creation is all about. It's basically, you have to be biased about your reality. You have to be delusional about it, because it's subjective. It's subject to change. It is the most distorted and illusional concept in human beings. Yet they try to find the answers outside in the macro level thinking, yet they don't realize the answers are inside. It's micro level thinking. That's where you find the thing. And it's all about getting everything you can out of everything you got. It's all about, we all have resources, you being resourceful. So that's what entrepreneurship is. That's what turning your mess into messages. That's how Bill Gates says that if you are born poor, that is not your problem. However, if you die poor, that's your problem, because you never took massive, offensive, resourceful, committed, imperfect, inspired, fast, decisive, measurable actions to change your reality, to change your world towards the fruits. And fruits are the results. And if there's a problem with the fruit, you go back to the root. The root is the same thing. You have to constantly step into your power, just like taking shower, just like taking grooming. It's not one time thing. You have to constantly, over and over and over, to the point it defines who you are. It becomes your second nature. You are unconsciously incompetent. Now you are consciously and unconsciously competent. It's all there. It's you, knew you. It's just like Shifali was saying, and I asked Carla, imagine the Carla that you were before 10 years ago, and imagine the Carla who is so confident and on fire. She has all those thought leaders and subject matter experts on one table, talking about the skills and capabilities and expertise and potential and competencies, pouring so much value in life. So it becomes new you. And life is all about journey, it's not a destination. I have not seen my fullest human potential, and never give up on the future impossible version of you. Once you chase that version, that's where you'll constantly recreating your new reality, because at every level there's a different devil, and there's no devil outside. It's us competing against ourselves to be better today than we were yesterday. Thank you for having me.
Well, to be honest with you, Mirza, it hasn't been Carla 30 years ago. It's Carla 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
I would have never thought that I would be doing what I'm doing now 5 years ago.
That's the reality creation right there.
And I'm still developing big time.
It's all about journey, it's not a destination.
Right.
Keep on keeping on. Overcoming the top.
And what's important is that we enjoy every step. If we need to be over there and we're over here now, enjoy the journey getting there. And don't say, I don't have it. I'm walking towards it. Because then you keep on moving. And having said that, we are over an hour. I do have some people who are saying, Carla, remember you said an hour. And I want to be fair to them. So I want to really thank Ada for coming so late. I just kind of thought you
I'm
were
sorry.
busy.
Thank you. And I'm sorry.
Oh.
I really tried, and I was like, I gotta go. Like, I'll help your issue. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. But I'm glad that at least was able to meet you guys. So pleasure.
It is, and it's a pleasure to have you. I want to thank Huang, who is up very, very late. I think it's past 1 a.m. there. What time is it in Vietnam?
12:45, Carla.
Well, you're getting up there, and at this time, I've actually refused to talk to people past 12 midnight. I want to thank, also, Shivali is going close to 11.
It's 11:15.
Okay. So I
But
want to
I feel fresh. I feel fresh when I come on this show. I can't imagine.
I want to thank you guys for being here. We do have definitely Cameron Risby back this Thursday. And we should have a great show going on talking about our realities and what is reality. And with that, let's wave goodbye. And we will see you again on Thursday.
Thanks for having us.